Ethan Cross, a name that symbolized wealth and power in the city. He had it all: sprawling mansions, luxury cars, an empire built from scratch. But with great wealth came dangerous enemies. After surviving a mysterious attack, Ethan realized the threat wasn't random. Someone close to him wanted him dead. He knew he had to outsmart them. And so, he came up with a bold plan. He would fake being in a coma. As he lay motionless in the hospital bed, doctors and nurses bustled around him, believing he was unconscious. In reality, Ethan was wide awake, listening carefully to every word, every whisper. His sharp mind picked up on conversations and clues, piecing together the web of betrayal around him. Days turned into nights. His family visited often, their faces painted with fake concern. Some wept, others whispered about property and wills when they thought no one could hear. Ethan stayed perfectly still, storing every word like ammunition for the battle he knew was coming. But one night, something unexpected happened. The door creaked open softly, and in walked Clara, a young nurse assigned to his care. She was always gentle with him, speaking to him as if he could hear, offering words of comfort. But tonight, her steps were hesitant, her eyes glistening with tears. She pulled a chair close to his bed, took his hand in hers, and whispered shakily, "Ethan, I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. It was supposed to be just a warning, not this." Ethan's heart thudded against his ribs, but he kept his body frozen. A warning? He thought. What is she talking about? Clara wiped her eyes and continued, her voice barely a whisper. "I should have told you earlier, but I fell in love with you. And now, it's too late." The weight of her words pressed down on him. A confession of guilt and a confession of love. Ethan's mind raced. Had Clara been part of the plot? Or was she trying to protect him all along? He wanted to open his eyes, to confront her, to demand answers. But he knew he had to wait. If he revealed he was conscious too soon, he would lose the advantage, and the truth might slip away forever. Lying still, Ethan realized one thing. The game he thought he was playing had just become far more dangerous. Now, it wasn't just about survival. It was about uncovering hidden loyalties, facing painful truths, and deciding who he could really trust. The real war was just beginning. The next morning, Ethan lay still as Clara returned to his room. Her face was pale, her steps hesitant. She locked the door behind her, looking over her shoulder nervously before rushing to his side. "I don't know how much time I have," she whispered, brushing his hair back tenderly. "They're planning to finish what they started." Ethan listened carefully, his mind sharpening with every word. "Who is they?" he wondered. Clara sat down, her hands trembling as she spoke. "Your brother, Daniel, he's behind it. He wants everything you own." I overheard him. The attack wasn't random, Ethan. It was planned. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I tried to stop it. I switched the brakes on his car, not yours. But somehow, they got to you instead." The betrayal cut deep. His own blood had turned against him, blinded by greed. But Clara's confession stirred something else inside him, a flicker of trust, and something dangerously close to hope. He couldn't wait any longer. With great effort, Ethan opened his eyes slowly. His muscles ached from days of pretending, but his voice, when it came, was steady. "Clara," he rasped. She gasped, stumbling back in shock. Her hands flew to her mouth, disbelief etched across her face. "Why, you're awake? You heard me." Ethan nodded weakly, his gaze piercing into hers. "Everything," he said. Clara's knees buckled, and she collapsed into the chair, covering her face. Shame, fear, and relief all poured out at once. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never wanted this to happen to you. I loved you too much to watch him destroy you." There was a long pause. Ethan processed her words carefully, feeling the weight of the moment. "Help me," he said finally. "Help me bring them down." Clara looked up, her eyes wide. For a second, she hesitated, then nodded firmly. Together, they crafted a new plan. Ethan remained comatose to the outside world while Clara secretly gathered evidence. Recorded conversations, stolen documents, financial trails that pointed straight to Daniel's betrayal. A week later, the trap was set. Daniel arrived at the hospital, smug and careless, ready to say goodbye to his helpless brother. But as he leaned over Ethan's bed, whispering poisonous words, Ethan's eyes snapped open. "Hello, Daniel," he said coldly. Before Daniel could react, The police burst into the room, with Clara leading the charge, holding the evidence that would seal his fate. Daniel's face turned pale as he realized the game was over. In the months that followed, Ethan recovered fully, reclaiming his empire and cutting ties with every snake hidden in his circle. But the biggest surprise of all wasn't the betrayal. It was the loyalty he found where he least expected it. Standing beside him through every storm was Clara, the woman who risked everything, not for money, but for love. And for the first time in his life, Ethan Cross realized, some fortunes can't be measured in gold.